Hello everybody, today back again with another video. Alright guys, today's video is going to be about Djokovic and Nadal. And some videos I did a couple of years ago where I said that neither of these two players, Djokovic or neither Nadal, will win 25 Grand Slam titles. And have I changed my mind about this? Do I have a different opinion about these two players, these two icons, that neither of them will win 25 Grand Slam titles? Neither of them. Look guys, I have looked in some old players, what they have done in winning Grand Slam titles when they have turned 30 years old or older. Players like Laver, Tilden, Ken Roswell. Laver, I believe, won 5 Grand Slam titles after turning 30 years old of age. Tilden won 4 Grand Slam titles after turning 30 years old of age. Ken Roswell won also 4 Grand Slam titles after turning 30 years old of age. And speaking about Ken Roswell, he is actually the oldest Grand Slam winner of all time, when he won Australian Open back in 1972 as 37 years old of age. And if you look at the modern tennis of players like Pistol Pete Sampras, Andre Agassi, Boris Becker, Stefan Edberg, John McEnroe, Björn Borg. Start with Pistol Pete Sampras. He actually won only won 1 Grand Slam title after turning 30 years old of age, and that was back in 2002 when he won US Open, his last Grand Slam title. Andre Agassi won 2 Grand Slam titles after turning 30 years old of age, back in 2001 when he won Australian Open, and back in 2003 when he won Australian Open as well. He won Australian Open also in 2000. That year he actually turns 30 years old of age, but he turns 30 years old later that year. So technically he didn't won Australian Open back in 2000 as 30 years old of age. He won it as 29 years old of age. And if you look at players like Becker, never won any Grand Slam titles after turning 30 years old. John McEnroe never won any Grand Slam titles after turning 30 years old. Björn Borg, he didn't even play tennis when he was 30 years old, let alone winning any Grand Slam titles when he turned 30 years old of age. Stefan Edberg never won any Grand Slam titles after turning 30 years old of age. So this shows to us, this proves to us, my tennis fans all around the world, that majority of tennis players in the past, 40-50 years ago, when players like Laver, Roswell, Tilden played, or players who played 15, 20, 25 years ago, they didn't, like Sampras, Agassi, Becker, Edberg, McEnroe, Borg, they didn't win their majority of tennis Grand Slam titles when they turned 30 years old of age or older. They won the majority of their Grand Slam titles, if not almost all of them, when they were under 30 years old of age. Now we come to these terminators, to these predators, to these cyborgs, to these consistency beasts, Nadal and Djokovic. What have they, and Roger Federer, not to forget Roger Federer, who also has won 4 Grand Slam titles when turning 30 years old or older. What has these two, Djokovic and Nadal, the greatest tennis players of all time, without any shadow of a doubt, what have they done after turning 30 years old of age or older? Novak Djokovic has won 9 Grand Slam titles after turning 30 years old of age or older. Rafael Nadal has won 8 Grand Slam titles after turning 30 years old of age or older. That is unbelievable stuff, my tennis friends all around the world. That is insane. That is impeccable. That is out of this world things these two giants have done. It is just I'm just speechless. They have won 17 Grand Slam titles together after turning 30 years old of age or older. Not 2, not 4, not 6, not 8, not 10, not 12, not 14, not 16, 17 Grand Slam titles these two beasts have won together after turning 30 years old of age. When I did the videos a couple of years ago, when I said that neither of these two players will win 25 Grand Slam titles each, I was thinking that these two, majority of players, they don't win Grand Slam titles after turning 30 years old or older. Just like I demonstrated in this video about the players that I mentioned. Players 40, 50 years ago and players 20, 25 years ago. Alright? I gave my arguments there. So when I did my videos in the past, I was thinking about this. Look at Nadal. Nadal has won 14 Grand Slam titles under 30 years old. Djokovic has won 12 Grand Slam titles under 30 years old. Alright? Nadal 14, Djokovic 12. So now, they are almost equaling Grand Slam titles as when they won them under 30 years old. Djokovic 9, so Djokovic needs to win 3 more Grand Slam titles to equal his 12 Grand Slam titles which he won which he did under 30 years old. 12 Djokovic won. Now he has won 9 Grand Slam titles when he turned 30 years old or older. 9 turning 30 years old or older, 12 he won under 30 years old of age. So Djokovic is 3 Grand Slam titles away of equaling his Grand Slam titles with 12, which he did win when he was under 30 years old of age. 3 Grand Slam titles away for Novak Djokovic. Nadal, he's a little more far away because he won more Grand Slam titles when being under 30 years old of age. He won 14. So Nadal is 6 Grand Slam titles away in equaling his 14 Grand Slam titles when he won under 30 years old of age. So what they have done in winning Grand Slam titles in turning 30 years old of age or older is just out of this world. I believe Nadal will have, I don't think Nadal will win 6 more Grand Slam titles and winning and equaling his 14 Grand Slam titles which he did win when he was under 30 years old of age. I truly don't believe Nadal will do it. Because if Nadal wins 6 more Grand Slam titles, he will be at 28 Grand Slam titles of number. He has 22 now, so he wins. If he wins 6 more, he will be at 28 Grand Slam titles. I never think Nadal will win 28 Grand Slam titles. I just don't think so. Djokovic it is more possible. Djokovic is only 3 away in winning 12 Grand Slam titles in turning 30 years old of age or older, which he did win because he won 12 Grand Slam titles in under 30 years old of age. So Djokovic is not, it is more possible for Novak. Look guys, never has any human being won 25 Grand Slam titles. Never, this has never been achieved. The most human being who has won Grand Slam titles is Margaret Court, an Australian female player from Australia who has won 25 Grand Slam titles. That is the most Grand Slam titles a human being has won, and that is Margaret Court. Male or female, Margaret Court is of course a female tennis player. Serena Williams did everything in his power to chase and catch her. She never did. Serena Williams has won 23 Grand Slam titles. I don't believe Serena Williams will catch her. I don't think Serena Williams has any more Grand Slam titles in her body. I think Serena has won her last Grand Slam title, which is 23. Nadal and Djokovic has not won their last Grand Slam title. They have not. I don't think so. Because they are still playing, but they are in the end of the career. But these two icons, these two beasts, these two terminators, these two machines, they don't seem to have any limits. So I'm not as super confident like I was 2-3 years ago when I did my videos and said that neither Nadal, neither Djokovic will win 25 Grand Slam titles. I'm not as super confident as I was back then. Why? Because Nadal's body is breaking down. His body is breaking down more and more. Djokovic, with that vaccine status, I don't know how many tournaments and Grand Slam tournaments he will be allowed to play in the future. So I still believe that neither of these two players, Nadal or Djokovic, will not win 25 Grand Slam titles each. But I'm not as confident as I used to be a couple of years ago. Because when I think about it, they are keeping and proving us wrong time after time after time after time. When I did my videos a couple of years ago, I was super confident. I just couldn't imagine that a player who turning 30 years old and older will be close of winning as many Grand Slam titles as when they won them under 30 years old. Djokovic is now only 3 away of winning as many Grand Slam titles as he did when he was under 30 years old. 12. He won 12 Grand Slam titles under 30 years old, Novak Djokovic. So Novak has now won 9, so he's 3 Grand Slam titles away in winning as many Grand Slam titles and in turning 30 years old or older as he did when he won his Grand Slam titles under 30 years old. So that is not an impossible feat to achieve for a player like Novak Djokovic, because he's still very, very lethal and very, very dangerous and very competitive, even though he's 35 years old. Nadal, who is 1 year older than Novak Djokovic, he's 36 years old. He's 3 Grand Slam titles away of achieving that magical number. Because for me, to win 25 Grand Slam titles, that is a magic number. Because it has never happened any human being doing that, female or male player. Like I said, Margaret Court is the only human player who has won most Grand Slam titles in the tennis history with 24. So never have we seen any human being win 25 Grand Slam titles. So Nadal is 3 Grand Slam titles away of achieving that unbelievable, out of this world number in winning 25 Grand Slam titles. So Nadal is 3 away of doing that. But Nadal has that body who is breaking down. It is only going downhill for Nadal when it comes to his health. So that is the reason why I still don't believe that neither of them will do it. Djokovic with his vaccine status and Nadal with his health problems. But I'm not super confident as I was a couple of years ago. I really am not, because these two players, these two icons, these two beasts, these two predators, these two terminators, they all keep on proving us wrong time after 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 time. And I don't dare completely writing them off, even though that they are in the middle of their 30s. Nadal is 36 years old, and Novak Djokovic is 35 years old. So I don't dare to completely write them off in not winning 25 majors in a couple of years. I don't dare to doing that anymore. I really don't dare to do that anymore. But like I said, I'm not as super confident as I was a couple of years ago. But I still don't believe that they will do it. I still don't believe it. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and see you next time. Peace!